It is important to establish a set of training guidelines for the development of youth athletes. As volunteers within most sport organizations, most youth coaches and parents do not receive any type of general training in regards to the development of their child or athlete. This training is not sport specific, but a general guideline for coaches and parents to follow for any athlete development in youth sports. Suggested sport specific training should be required in addition for more advanced training within the sport desired for their youth. The key components to developing youth athletes in sports: nutrition, training, strength, injuries, and fatigue. One of the key components for developing youth athletes is nutrition. As shown on the pyramid, nutrition is the base for all physical activity. One key component within nutrition for youth athletes is vitamin D. According to research, athletes across a range of sports and geographical location may be predisposed to have low vitamin D concentrations. This is even more prevalent during winter months. Vitamin D is important for bone health by enhancing calcium absorption at the small intestine. According to research, up to 1 billion people have insufficient or deficient vitamin D levels. Despite the well-documented prevalence of low vitamin D levels, there is still a deficiency among athletes. Vitamin D is often an overlooked element in athletic achievement. It's sometimes called the sleeper nutrient. Vitamin D once was thought to be primarily involved in bone development, but a growing body of research suggests that it's vital in multiple different bodily functions, including allowing body cells to utilize calcium, which is essential for cell metabolism, muscle fibers to develop and grow normally, and the immune system to function properly. Almost every cell in the body has receptors for vitamin D. One study tested the vertical jumping ability of a small group of adolescent athletes. They found that those who had the lowest levels of vitamin D tended not to jump as high, suggesting that too little of the nutrient may impair muscle power. Low levels might also contribute to sport injuries, in part because vitamin D is so important for bone and muscle health. Another key component for developing youth athletes is training. Youth athletes need to be trained properly and at the right training age. Research shows that participation in organized youth sports has increased, and because of this, sports have become more competitive at an earlier age. The interest from parents and coaches to help enhance youth sport performance has fostered a growth in youth strength and conditioning, performance enhancement, and injury prevention programs in fitness centers and private training facilities. Parents and coaches need to know what is safe for children, what is the best age, and when should they start. Exposure is key to proper training. Research shows that it is critical to expose children to a variety of developmentally appropriate activities early in life in order to reduce the risk of sports-related injuries and improve health and skill-related measures of physical fitness. The next component for developing youth athletes is strength. The best way for an athlete to become stronger for a specific sport is to do strength training using the muscles in the same way that they are used in that sport. Focusing on a single sport hones the skills required for that particular activity, but doesn't necessarily develop a better athlete in the fundamental movement skills required in all sports. If youth athletes undertake strength training programs, they should begin with low resistance exercises until properly trained. Exercise should include all muscle groups. Youth athletes that want to improve in sports will benefit from practicing and perfecting skills of the sport than from resistance training. Young athletes should avoid competitive weightlifting until they reach physical and skeletal maturity. Before beginning a formal strength training program, a medical evaluation should be performed. Aerobic conditioning should be combined with resistance training if general health benefits are the goal. A general strengthening program should address all major muscle groups. Any sign of injury or illness from the strength training should be evaluated before continuing the exercise in question. Another key component for developing youth athletes is ensuring athletes are not being overused, overtrained, or becoming burned out. Overuse is one of the common factors that lead to injuries in youth athletes. As more children are becoming involved in organized and recreational athletics, the frequency of overuse injuries is increasing. With the push in competitive sports and growing rate of athletes developing in one single sport, also known as specialization, the burnout rates have increased tremendously. Burnout is defined by sports psychologists as physical, emotional exhaustion, sport devaluation, and reduced athletic accomplishment. There is a growing rate of overtraining, overuse, and burnout among children and adolescent athletes in the United States. One of the causes of burnout is from parental pressure and pressure from coaches to perform and compete competitively and be successful. This can lead to dropping out of sports altogether. Giving up on sports participation is also giving up on the health benefits that go along with it. Young athletes are developing lifestyle patterns that will carry with them through adulthood. Active youth are much more likely to be active adults. But if we allow our youth to become burned out of sports, this may become a barrier to leading a healthy lifestyle as an adult. More than half of all sports injuries in children are in fact preventable. Here are some brief sport injury facts. As youth mature from puberty into adolescence, the severity of sports-related injuries increase. Over 500,000 injuries occur annually to American youth from playing football. The most commonly injured areas are the fingers, hand, and wrist. Knee problems are also one of the most common injuries in the young athlete, including anterior cruciate ligament damage. Sports contribute to approximately 21% of all traumatic brain injuries among American youth. Most injuries occur as a result of being struck by projectile objects. In the child, hip pathology can present as knee pain, so a careful hip exam is important in the child presenting with an insidious onset of knee pain. The final key component for developing youth athletes is fatigue and illness in youth athletes. Maintaining a healthy and adequate nutrition is the key to avoiding fatigue and illness in a youth athlete's body. Ensuring adequate nutrition intake before, during, and after training and completion is important. An athlete's performance relies heavily on their nutritional status. Research shows that young athletes with inadequate diets may have insufficient fuel for workouts and training. Athletes with nutrient deficiencies can lead to illness or fatigue. They may also not reach their potential for muscle growth. Approximately 30 to 40 million youth athletes participate in some form of athletics in the United States. Youth athletes rely on coaches, parents, teammates, and health professionals for nutritional guidance. Helping athletes improve their diets can eliminate obstacles such as fatigue and illness. It can also help youth athletes push their limits and reach their fullest potential. Now, as all coaches, it's important for all coaches to know proper training. It's also additional to parents as well, who plays a huge part in the development of their athlete or child. So one thing all parents should know is don't live your dreams through your children. Let them play and have fun. Support your coach and trust he will make the right decisions for your child. Don't yell at referees and coaches. Understand everyone is human and mistakes happen. Don't coach from the sideline. Support your child, otherwise volunteer to coach. Very small percentage of athletes go pro. Let your child have fun and enjoy the sport. Don't specialize in a sport year-round. Play multiple sports to prevent injuries and to give kids an opportunity to experience other sports. Show respect to others as you would want others to respect you. Be nice or say nothing at all. If you can't control your emotions on the sideline, maybe it's time to do something else. Use that energy for something more productive. Sometimes kids learn the hard way. Let them fail or make mistakes so they can learn from it and become better overall. Kids learn from parents and normally follow in the same footsteps. Don't embarrass them. Remember the 5 key components for developing youth athletes: nutrition, training, strength, injuries, and fatigue. As previously mentioned, sport-specific training is necessary to improve the key components listed and increase the overall health and development of the youth athlete.